All right, hello guys. So I am sorry that I was gone. I had my baby. I made an announcement that has a video of Finn and Sawyer. So if you want to meet them, then you can check out my announcements on my Canvas page. So this week we're going to catch up on what we were going to do last week, which is how to draw faces. Okay, so you'll want a piece of paper and you will want like a pencil, an eraser. If you want, you can have like a ruler depending on what you decide your face shape is. And I'm going to teach you some fun tricks to draw faces and make them look more realistic and proportionate, which means that it looks like things are where they're supposed to be on the face. Okay, so there are many different kinds of faces. There's some basic face shapes. Hold on a second. And that way. Okay, so some basic face shapes. As you can see, you know, the square, they have much more of like a square jaw. Those are people who have like really like pointy square jaw. This would be like the square with the square jaw, just longer instead of the shorter one. Triangle face, that would be somebody that has much more of like the cheeks come out a bit more. It's right over here. A circle, oval. I'll just look at it, that's probably easier. And then the diamond, right? With the diamond, they have a bit more of that like pointed chin. Okay. So, and then I realized after I drew this chart that there is one more face shape, except for it's not as common, and that's the heart face shape. All right, the heart face shape has to do more with your hairline, which is this part where your hair connects to your head. So I have a little bit of that dip right here, mostly because with age my hairline is receding, but it's not quite enough to give me a heart-shaped face. My face is more of like, I would say an oval, or depending on where I'm at, sometimes it looks like a circle. So somebody I can think of, my friend Cassie, she definitely has like more of a heart-shaped face. See, she has a really prominent hairline and always has. Let's see if I can find a better one of her face. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Right, so it's a bit more of a heart shape, if you guys can see that. You see the heart in her face. Okay, so she's the only person I can think of that I know that has a heart-shaped face. It's not super common, but it is there. So we're going to do a fun activity where we're going to try and figure out what shape our face is. So if you are at home, then you can pause and go look in the mirror, talk to your family, and try and decide what shape you believe your face is. And it's okay if it's a little bit in between. I would just say whichever one you feel is the closest. And then after, or if you are in the classroom, then you can look at your neighbor. You guys probably don't have like a mirror in your classroom. So you could team up and look at each other's faces and try and help each other decide what shape your face is. Okay, so definitely think, yeah, mine's a bit more of like an oval. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this up. Yeah. Again, for you guys to see. And if you need to, you can pause. Oh wait, hold on. Can't forget the heart. Okay, let's see. Okay, so if you need to, you can pause the video and take a look, see what you think your face is. All right. So after you have decided what your face shape is, which can be a fun activity, and keep in mind too, you guys are so little, and your face will probably change its shape as you get older and older. All right, so after we have that, you're going to want to get a piece of paper, and we're going to draw our face on a piece of paper, right? So even though my face is a bit more oval, I still have a little bit more of like a jawline. I didn't get it quite right, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Right, so when you are drawing faces, you want to have your chin down in here, so a chin. You see how it's kind of like a V, but it's a bit more rounded, and then it rounds right here. Okay, so this is your jawline. So this is your jawline right here. There we go. You see how it comes down, and then it angles in and back up. This is the jawline when you're drawing a face. I'm kind of like sideways, so hold on. There we go. Oh, mine's a little bit more rounded, I guess. I like to think that it's more defined, but it's not. So that's your jawline, all right? And then with your head, it usually angles out just a little bit, right up to your cheekbones. These are your cheekbones. Boop, boop, boop. You can feel for them, right? You have this part that squishes in, and then right here you have that like bone that's a little bit harder. That's your cheekbone. And then the top of your head is usually wider than down here, right? So it goes out and then it curves at the top. Okay. So, it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be pretty. You can just do an oval, all right? But I just thought I'd kind of show you that we have a jaw, right? So I'm going to show you now with my pencil how to break down a face. Okay, so let me angle this. I changed my setup, so I'm still kind of getting used to it. All right, so when you're drawing a face, it feels weird, but your eyes, when you're drawing your face, are about halfway down the face. They're down here instead of like up here. Okay, and the reason why, so your eyes would be right about here, so I like to go in and, here, let me make that darker. I like to go in and draw a line. Okay, so the reason why is because this right here would be our forehead. And then right up here would be our hairline. All right, so if you were looking at my head, about halfway down is my eyes. All right, so that leaves room for my eyebrows, my forehead, and my hair, right? Because our hair, since it's like rounded on the top of our head, our hair doesn't like sit right on the top of our head. It goes around, and you have your hairline right in here. So if I were to have like my hair pulled back, it's not a thin layer right at the top of the circle. It comes down into the circle or the shape a little bit further, right? So if we were to say that, you know, up here is the hairline, okay, so that starts to make more sense of why this is so big. Okay, so if this is where our eyes go, so we cut our face in half, and that's where the eyes go. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to do it in half again. So about halfway down. And that's where the bottom of your nose goes. Okay, so this would be where my nose is. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So if I have my eyes right here, and then I have my nose right there. Okay. And then if you were to take that bottom part right in here and cut it in half one more time, that is where your mouth goes. Right? So like if I were to do some lips. Okay, so half the half, and then half that last half. It's a lot of halves. One thing that's pretty cool is where your eyes go actually line up with your ears. Okay, let's see. I tried to put my hair back so you guys could see. All right, so, and that makes sense, right? Because my glasses go right on top of my ears, lines up with my eyes. All right, so where the corner of my eye is right here, it leads back, and where my ear starts, right in here, where it connects to my head, this part's not connected, but where it connects to my head, that lines up with my eyes. All right, so you can think of it as like where the glasses would go. So when you're drawing a face and you're like, oh man, where do I put the ears? Then you know that right in here, that's where your ears go. Okay, and they're not usually longer than this like section right here, right? So that sometimes they might come down a little bit further. Sometimes they might be smaller, depends on the person and their ears, but they wouldn't come down past the bottom of your nose. Okay, so that's how we break up our face. All right, so when you're drawing a face, and now you know where to put everything. Another thing that's kind of fun is you can also take the measurements of, like, if you were to go like this and kind of do like an L shape, not like that, but you kind of bring your thumb up like this and tuck it but point it out. That is a distance from the bottom of your chin to your nose, from your nose up to the bridge of your nose between your eyes and eyebrows, and then from that same spot on your forehead to the top of your head. If I can get the right angle. So pretty interesting if you take that too, and from the outside of your nose to the outside of your face. It's that same measurement, which is kind of crazy. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to erase these lines. And draw a face. It doesn't have to be your face. You can make it your face if you want. All right, so my eyes are a little close to the outside of my head. That's okay. I'm going to come up in a little bit further. So I'm going to go in and I'll do this with markers so you guys can see. All right, so that halfway down, that's where my eyes would go. I like to do a curve that comes up and a curve that goes down. About. It's hard to do it sideways. And I'm going to make some videos that get more into detail about how to draw like eyes and noses and mouths and ears and all those other things. But just as a basic, I like to do kind of like a V with the letter C and a backward C for a nose, which is a super easy nose. You could do a line up for the bridge of the nose. And I'm going to do some lips for my mouth, which is like a wide M. You could always do a little like M inside of it. Right, my person's gonna look pretty weird until I add in a circle. It's kind of cut off by the top of the eye. And then another circle inside that for the pupil. You could give yourself eyelashes. Everyone has eyelashes, so you can make them nice and long or short. Up above my eyes, we have eyebrows. Those kind of curve. About. Alright. And then with lips, you know, you don't have to do like the actual lips like mine. It makes it look like I'm wearing kind of lipstick and more feminine. Right, for boys, you could always just do, you know, like a smile, something like that instead. Right, you could just do the smile, smiley face. You don't have to get as detailed as I'm getting, but I'm just trying to show you that once you have those in, right, and then I have my nice big forehead here, and then my hairline would be up here. So that's where my hair would start. So if we were to say, and then my hair doesn't hang super tight to the top of my head. Even in a ponytail, you can see it kind of sticks up from my scalp, which is that like skin on my head. Alright, so if you're adding in hair, you don't want to just do the hairline right in here, and the hairline comes down to the top of your ears, right? You want to do some that goes up above the head as well. Alright, give it a little bit more body. And then the ears that line up with our eyes. Usually those are like a really flat C shape. It's a really easy way to do it. Okay. Don't forget your neck. Your neck usually comes to that like part on your jaw. If your head is turned sideways, you know it connects in other places. But when you're facing forward, it's just a little bit in. It has kind of a curve to it. Right, so your neck comes down. And I think I'm going to give my person longer hair. Just so you guys can have a better idea. Right? And then with boys, you know, you can always have your hairline and then like spiky at the top, or if you have, you know, longer hair, you can have it come down a little bit further. If you have bangs, you could add in bangs, right? So like right now I have these bangs, so maybe I'll have some bangs that come down. Like that. Alright, so just an idea of where things go. So try and draw a face, doing the halves, cutting that in half and cutting that in half again, and then color it in. You don't have to do your face, it could be some other face, right? Don't worry about, you know, your eyes and nose and mouth not looking super realistic. You can just do like a little circle or a C or ovals or circles for the eyes, because later in other classes I'll teach you more about how to do different kinds of hands and eyes and noses, mouths, ears, different hair, all kinds of stuff. Alright, well, it's good to see you guys again, and have fun drawing some faces. Let me know if you have any questions. See you next week. Bye-bye.